Recently, the United Nations International Court of Justice held a hearing in the case of Iran and the United States for illegally freezing nearly $2 billion of its assets. Iran is demanding that the US return the assets and accuses the US of violating a treaty previously signed by the two countries to destabilize the Iranian government. The Iranian lawyers argue that the special status of the US dollar in the international financial system makes it easy for America to impound assets of other countries in the name of sanctions. The freezing of Iran's overseas assets is not an isolated case. The United States has frozen overseas assets of Cuba, Afghanistan, Venezuela, and several other countries in the name of sanctions, and diverted the same for other purposes. In 1963, there was a complete freezing of Cuban assets in the US, followed by the adoption of the Cuban Assets Control Regulations, which imposed further restrictions. In 2019, the US froze $342 million worth of assets held by the Central Bank of Venezuela in the US as part of the sanctions against the Venezuelan government. In August 2021, when the Taliban took control of Kabul and US forces withdrew from Afghanistan, nearly $7 billion of reverses held by the Central Bank of Afghanistan were frozen. The US has since refused to return the assets to Afghanistan, despite the country's urgent need of the funds for national reconstruction and improving livelihoods. Tahmi, a head of money market and FX at Baba Bank, said the US must understand that these assets are the money of Afghan people and the funds are for their well-being. The US must unfreeze these assets so that people can lead a normal life, he said. Former Afghan President Hamid Karzai said that Afghan people are also victims, and it is unjust and unfair to the Afghan people to be deprived of their assets. It is an atrocity against the Afghan people as they are the real owners of these assets. Experts said that the US has arbitrarily imposed the sanctions and frozen overseas assets of other countries, seriously hindering the development of the local economy and people's livelihood. The freezing actions reveal that the so-called rule-based order that the US side boasts is not a rule-based order to defend the weak and the righteous. Instead, it is the rule-based order that protects the powerful.